So we have actually discussed a lot of theory stuff until now. So now let's get into practical and build something real. So we are going to actually build a script that is actually going to download videos from YouTube. So yeah, my idea here is to demonstrate the use cases for JSON objects, dictionaries, uh, and maybe threads or multiprocessing to actually speed up things. So we'll be building a project, we'll be building a script that downloads YouTube videos, and that will actually download videos based on our suggestions or based on our search. We can actually download videos, and we can download multiple at the same time. So let's get started. So basically we need actually two main external libraries to do this stuff. First of all, we have to actually search for videos. So we need a library that can actually get the links of our YouTube videos. We can either write them on our own, or we can actually use some pre-built code, some Python libraries to actually do that. So I'll be using some Python libraries to actually get the links, and another Python library to actually download those videos. So the first library that we are going to be needing is called YouTube Search Python. So I'll have to import it by saying from YouTube Search Python import video search. So before we actually import it, we definitely have to install it. So you can actually install it by going to this pip link. So we'll actually have to search for YouTube Search Python and install pip install YouTube hyphen search hyphen Python, and just copy this. And okay, so you just come here, just open up your terminal. I'm using PyCharm here, so I have an inbuilt terminal here. So I'll actually say this, I'll paste this in. I already have it installed, and we also need another library. So just open up any of your browsers and then search for PyTube. This is actually the library that we are going to be using to download videos from YouTube. So you just copy this, and you can come into your terminal and paste this, and this will be installed as well. So I have both the libraries installed. Now let's just get started. So first we'll have to get links. We'll have to get links because PyTube actually needs a link to actually download. So to actually get those links, we can use this first library. So let me show you how we can actually do that. So I'll actually declare a variable here called video underscore search, and we'll actually say video search, and we need to specify a couple of arguments here. First of all, we need to specify actually a subject or something that you actually want to search for on YouTube. So I'll actually search for short videos less than 1 minute. Okay, I'm actually searching for this. Because this will actually easily download, and just download it fast because these are short videos and it's actually better. So now we are also going to be passing in an argument called limit, and this is actually the number of videos we actually want based on the subject. So let's say 5 videos, or just say 1 videos in this case, and then we declare another variable. We'll say v is equal to video search dot result. Now let me just print this v here, and if I just run this program, okay, we are actually getting a big dictionary, and we have other dictionaries and lists inside them. So it's very difficult to actually understand this based on this result, but we can actually see that we have some URLs. This is not the video URL, but if we just scroll down a little bit, we just scroll down a little bit here, and yeah, we have some YouTube URLs. We only ask for one, so we have a YouTube URL. This is probably some short video. I don't really want to play it. Actually, it may cause copyright or any problems, but yeah, you can see that it's just 47 seconds. And now now we actually have to find a way to get this video. So it's really confusing if you just look at here. So I had to take a look at the documentation and see how these things work, how the results are actually printed out, and I actually found out the solution. So this is just for one video. So if we just want to print, if we just ask for 5 here, we'll get 5 URLs. So I'll just loop through them. We need for I in range, and we'll pass in the number as the argument. So in this case we have 1, so we are actually saying 1 here, and then we are actually going to say li is equal to v of result. You can find all these in this big dictionary object. So I just did some other homework and actually figured it out. And then you need an I, and then we need to get the link item from this. So this is how we actually get the link. And now if I simply print the link and just run the program, let's see how it works. Okay, here you can see that we have got a single video URL. We only got the URL, we haven't got any other gibberish unwanted data. So if you just change this to 2 or maybe 3, and you also have to change this to 3 because this should match this. We'll later put this into a function and everything will be organized later. For now, let's just run this. You can see we got 3 URLs and all 3 must be short videos. I don't really want to open it, but if you just open it, it may, most probably these are all short videos, less than 1 minute. So yeah, so now what we are going to do is, let's just put this inside a function. So I'll just say def search video, and then we'll take in some arguments. The first argument is going to be the subject or the search, the thing we actually want to search for, and the second argument is going to be the number of searches we want. So we'll say numbers. So these are the 2 arguments we are actually going to take here. So let's just put everything under this function, and now we'll just replace this. Now we'll just replace this with the subject here. Okay, so this is done. So now if I just execute the function, okay, so we also have to pass in the variable numbers here. So we also have to pass in the variable numbers here. Now let's just execute the function search video and pass in the subject. We can actually pass in any subject for now because we are not downloading anything. So I can simply search for maybe funny videos, and then we can actually pass in the number of links we actually want. So I'll say 5, and if we just run this, so before we actually continue, we'll, instead of printing this out, we'll just append this to a list, and then we'll actually access that list. So let's say items is equal to an empty list, and we'll add items here. So we'll say li dot append, or we'll actually say items dot append and we'll pass in li, and we can actually print out li, or items, we can actually print out the entire list. Okay, finally, before actually running, we have to change a small number of things. For example, I have to change this to number 1, and the variable I actually set it to, or else that will actually cause problems. And now I can actually run this, and yeah, I have a list with all those links here, and we are ready to go. We have the links now. Now we just need to download the videos using another library. So now let's just go for it. Now to actually download stuff, we need the PyTube library. So I'll say from PyTube, we will import YouTube. YouTube. So now to actually download thing, we can actually do this with just 2 lines of code. So we'll directly declare a function called download videos, and we'll take in an argument called item, because all the individual elements inside those lists are going to be our items, so we have to pass them individually. So now we'll actually say yt is equal to YouTube, the thing we just imported now, and we'll have to actually pass in the item, which is actually the link. Now we'll say dot streams dot filter, and then we'll set the file extension to .mp4, and we'll say dot first dot download, and we'll have to pass in the path to actually download this files. So we'll have to actually pass in the path, or a folder, or a file, or a place where you actually want to store this. So I have actually created a folder in my desktop called vid. This is actually an empty folder now. If you just look at here, you can see that it is in the desktop called vid. So now we just specify the path, and then okay, so our program is almost actually done. So now we just have to actually run this function. So what this will basically do is, first of all, it will actually make sure that the search video, or it will actually search for videos based on the number of links we actually want them to. So we can actually take this as input from the user. So for example, we can use the input function and do that. So we can actually do that fast. So we'll say sub is equal to input. We have to say enter the type of videos to search for, and okay, that's fine. Now we'll actually say num and say input. Okay, so we can simply say enter the number of videos to search for, and I think that should be enough. So we are actually taking this as input from the user. Now we can remove this with sub, and with this with num. So now we can actually run this program, and okay, now actually we have to search for it. Now to actually download this, we have to use the downloads function, but for that we need to actually access the individual elements of this list. So what this will actually do is, what this entire program will actually do is, first this will execute the search video function, which will actually take input from here, or which will get input from us from here, regarding the subject of the video and the number of video we actually want to download, and then it will actually search for the videos, and then it will add this to a list called items. And what we'll do is we'll have to access the individual elements from that list. So I'll say for item in items, and we'll have to just download all those items. So we'll say download videos of that item. So all those are done. Now we can just run the script and this will actually work. This is actually asking us for input. So we'll say short videos less than 1 minute. Now we'll actually ask us for the number of videos. So for example, I'll say 3. Okay, so a small issue I had encountered when running the script is that you have to change this to int because we are accepting numbers here, or else this will actually accept strings. So we have to change this to int. Now everything should work fine, and if we just run the program, it is asking us for the type of videos, and I'll say short videos less than 1 minute, and I'll say 3 videos, and it has actually got that. We have asked this to print this. This is no longer needed. This is no longer needed, so we just comment this out. So now if we just wait here, we'll actually see that the videos will get downloaded. Some videos are already getting downloaded, but this is actually really slow. So I have actually just stopped the program. We can use threads to actually speed this up a little bit, but this can also depend upon other factors like your internet speed and but we'll get a speed up. So now what we have to actually do is we have to replace a couple of things. First of all, we have to actually import threads. So we are not importing the normal threading module. We are actually going to use the concurrent futures module. So we'll say import concurrent dot futures. This will actually import the concurrent futures module. And now we have to just remove this. We don't need this. We'll say with concurrent dot futures dot thread pool executor as executor. We'll say executor dot we are going to actually use the map function, executor dot map, and we will actually pass in the function which is download videos without executing it, and we'll also pass in our list as argument. So I'll say items, and now this will actually take out all the items from this list and will actually apply as argument for this video or this function. So this should actually work if we just run the program. Okay, first of all, I'm going to actually clear out all the videos here. So we'll say the same thing. And I'll actually do for 5 videos. Okay, threads aren't actually going to guarantee you enough speeds, but since this is an IO bound task, it can actually give you some speed ups. But if you want real speed ups, you may have to use the multiprocessing module. But this should give you some sort of speed up, but this can also depend upon a lot of other factors. Okay, you can see that 2 of them have been okay. This only the download has been started. Okay, 3 of them have been actually started downloads. So while the program actually sleeps, it's actually executing it again. So yeah, my internet speed is not really good, so this can still take time, but this is actually a lot more faster. Okay, the fourth one is getting ready. Okay, so yep, all the downloads have been completed. This is actually a lot more, or it's actually a lot better compared to the normal functions. So this actually downloaded things much better. So I actually demonstrated here a couple of things. First of all, threads. So we have actually learned a couple of things here. The first and the most important one was how to actually use threads on a real practical project. And you can actually replace this with multi-processing as well. You just have to change this thread pool executor to process pool executor, and now we have multi-processing. You can do this as well. This may give you some real speed up. So the next thing we actually learned is how to actually parse, or how to actually extract data from a large dictionary object or JSON object, because this is how you actually typically receive information from APIs and things like that. So you'll have to parse or extract information from such big dictionaries. So we have actually discussed about this here. So this actually was a small project to demonstrate all these things.